Hey there, YouTube and Whooper Club fans. Fruit Taco, coach of the Route 1 Burbs, here once again to bring you a feature match from Week 6 of our 11th season over here at the WCL. This week we have Elf Owls and the Newport Noctowls, one of the most dominant teams in recent seasons, going up against Cat Measles and the Cincinnati Incineroar. 4 wins and 3 losses looks like it's going to be the cutoff point for making playoffs this season, so both teams should have their eyes on this match. Stacking these teams up against each other, I'd have to say I'm favoring the Noctowls. While the Incineroar have an extra mon at 120 speed, Weavile outspeeding both of them is really nice, as well as having the advantage in speed when we look at the lower half of both teams' speeds. Speaking of Weavile though, man does it look great. Speed to hit the Alakazam and Inteleon, 4 times effective stab for Salamence, knocking off boots on Rotom and Eviolites on Tangela and Chansey. It just seems so dang useful here. Jirachi and Komodo also look good, but they're going to need to choose their coverage carefully. I don't want to sell the Incineroar short at all, though. They have shown just how much of a monster Clefable can be, and it looks great in this match, alongside the rest of the sheer bulk on this team. And with enough stalling and chip damage, Salamence is always going to threaten a sweep with Dragon Dance and Moxie as options. So, how did the coaches choose to go into this match? The Noctowls are bringing Jirachi, Komodo, Weavile, Volcarona, Galarian, Weezing, and Blastoise. This team is thoroughly prepped for the Incineroar's standout Clefable, with Komodo running Choice Specs Flash Cannon to try and bait it in and two-shot it. Weezing is running Clear Smog to prevent a Calm Mind Clefable sweep as well as providing utility against Salamence. Specially defensive Blastoise checks Inteleon while providing hazard removal, and Weavile is here for big, fast damage with the protective pads making sure it doesn't run afoul of a Rocky Helmet. Lastly, we've got 2 setup sweepers in the Volcarona and Jirachi. Volcarona has Quiver Dance, Roost, and Flamethrower, as you might expect, but it's running Safeguard as the 4th move to turn the tables on Chansey, which would be the usual check to it with its massive special bulk and status moves. The Jirachi is a Cosmic Power Stored Power set to further take advantage of some of the Incineroar's more passive, bulky members, with a weakness policy to boost further once those Cosmic Powers bulk it up. The Incineroar's lineup consists of Salamence, Clefable, Rotom Heat, Tentacruel, Buzzwole, and Chansey. This team has 3 sweepers in Clefable, Salamence, and Buzzwole. Salamence is running Dragon Dance and Moxie, with a Yachi Berry and some HP investment to shrug off an Ice Shard. Next up is physically defensive Calm Mind Clefable, who is running Unaware to defensively check opposing setup sweepers if need be. Scarfed Adamant Buzzwole can also get out of hand if it gets a Beast Boost or 2 once the fighting resists have been weakened. Rotom is providing offensive utility and hazard control, while Chansey and Mixed Bulk Tentacruel round out the team for additional utility and walling potential. Whose sweeper will be left standing when the dust settles? Let's find out. Here we are in the match proper, and looking at this team preview, I think both coaches have some great options here. Salamence looks great with the power and coverage for everything except Blastoise, really. On the other side, if Jirachi can get up a Cosmic Power or 2 and activate that weakness policy, I'm not sure there's much the Incineroar can do about it aside from maybe try and wall it out with the Chansey. We're going for the leads here. We're going to see Komodo come out for the Noctowls and Rotom for the Incineroar. The Rotom is a great play here, able to at worst Volt Switch on anything, and at best threaten a lead Jirachi. The Komodo is a nice safe choice for the Noctowls as well, able to get off big damage or just set up those rocks hiding those choice specs. Turn 1, Rotom will land a Toxic on the Komodo in case it tries to set up, and Komodo just sets up those rocks. Locked into rocks, Komodo now switches into Weezing, while Rotom simply removes the rocks. Cat Measles goes for a powerful Overheat. Weezing misses a strange Steam, not that it would have done that much if it had hit. Komodo comes back in for Weezing, and easily is going to take that weakened Volt Switch, but it's going to bring in the Clefable here now. Komodo goes back out into Weezing now, expecting the Fairy attack, but Clefable sets up a Calm Mind. Komodo could have done around 70% firing a raw Flash Cannon, but looks like Elf Owls wants to try and save it and try and catch the Clefable on a switch in later on, where he doesn't have to risk sacking the Komodo to a Fairy move. Clear Smog's going to do OK Chip and remove the Clefable boosts, but it just ends up setting them right back up. Clear Smog is going to set the Clefable back to square one again, but Cat Measles is now content to just throw off a Fire Blast, trying to outlast this Weezing. Here we see Taunt from the Weezing, probably to block a pivot or recovery move, but it turns out Cat Measles went for a Calm Mind again, which will now fail. I'm guessing he was predicting a switch into something like the Blastoise to take another Fire Blast, and wanted to try and take advantage of that switch. Both coaches are now content to slug it out, though, as they exchange Strange Steam and Fire Blast again. Now both Pokemon are getting low, though, and both coaches are going to switch out into Komodo and Rotom, who end up staring each other down again. Clefable is now in range of a single Flash Cannon, so Elfowls might have wanted to try and bluff a bad read and pick up a cheeky KO there, but with the taunt up, Cat Measles decided to preserve the Clefable's HP so it can wall a boosted Mon later if needed. Rotom is going to switch out into the Tentacruel this time, as Elfowls predicts the Clefable and goes for Flash Cannon. That was a really aggressive play by Elfowls, and a very smart switch by Cat Measles. Komodo can carry coverage for Clefable in Poison Jab or Flash Cannon, so going into the full health Tentacruel rather than risking the Clefable was a great call, and definitely saved him there. Komodo can't stay in here, though, so it switches into Blastoise, who will have its leftovers knocked off. Sludge Bomb from the Tentacruel here does very little damage, but does snag a nice poison, as the Blastoise flip turns out into Jirachi, who is going to be here and ready to boost. Knockoff from Tentacruel should be a good move here, but it activates that weakness policy on top of a Cosmic Power boost. This Jirachi is scary. Stored Power is now a base 120 move coming off of a doubled special attack. The only things it doesn't one-shot are Clefable and Chansey, who, with some good play, it could even keep setting up on. Scald comes out, needing to chip the Jirachi ace. I think it's a very nice burn, as Jirachi is going to try and wish back up. Looks like Cat Measles is trying to sack the Tentacruel, which does easily go down to a stored power. FLs has to feel confident here, so I understand throwing out the attack, maybe trying to catch this Clefable switching in, but I think the better move could have been just to go for more Cosmic Powers. This Tentacruel can't touch Jirachi, and the extra bulk would be nice to take less damage from Pokemon that outspeed it or aren't one-shot. But this Jirachi is already seriously boosted and healthy again, so let's see if it can pull off the sweep anyway, starting with this unaware Clefable. Toxic will put that Clefable on a timer without Magic Guard, as it soft-boils up to full before Toxic damage. Stored Power will do just under half, and Fire Blast misses! That would have done a big 40% maybe to that Jirachi, which would have been huge. Another Stored Power will take down Clefable, and it feels like the writing could be on the wall here. Rotom Heat comes out, but easily goes down to Stored Power. Maybe Chansey's Bulk will let it do something here? Jirachi will try to wish back up. Here, his Seismic Toss does 25%, which, with burn damage, will out-damage the Wish over time. Jirachi sets up another Cosmic Power, but Seismic Toss and Burn are keeping it pretty weak. Jirachi goes for another Wish, but after the Seismic Toss, looks like it might not survive to receive it. However, a switch into Blastoise will save the Jirachi, though, and the Wish will bring it back up to 85% after Poison. Toxic lands on the Chansey, but it gets healed right away by Natural Cure as it teleports out into Buzzwole. A max roll close combat would KO, but Buzzwole misses the roll and takes a quarter from Flip Turn, who brings out the Volcarona. Salamence switches in case Volcarona starts setting up, but is going to eat a Flamethrower. Weezing switches in for Volcarona, probably as a sack here, as Salamence sets up a Dragon Dance, and at this point, this could actually be game, folks. Everything is in range to be OHKO'd by this Salamence here, but it will take landing a couple of 90% accurate dual wing beats, and we've seen people lose to safer odds than that. First turn here, though, that's one hit and a KO for the Salamence. Weavile, the natural check, is going to come out, but thanks to that Yachi Berry, it's going to save Salamence from that Ice Shard, who is going to hit another dual wing beat, and that's another Pokemon down. Here comes Volcarona, and Salamence lands the Rock Tomb, the 95% accurate rock move being the most accurate rock move it learns. And now, from here, Earthquake is going to clean up the last Mons in an exciting Salamence sweep. Man, what an exciting battle. That Jirachi looked like it could have had the match in the bag, but it wasn't quite set up enough to break through that Chansey thanks to that very clutch Scald Burn, even though it had dodged a big Fire Blast. Cat Measles was saving his accuracy for the end, though, hitting his moves with Salamence to secure the upset here. MVP definitely goes to that Mence for the 6 Pokemon sweep, but very, very honorable mention to Chansey for stopping Jirachi in its tracks. That's going to be all from me today, folks. Big thanks to our coaches for such an exciting match, and make sure to check out the Week 6 power rankings to see how this affects the coaches' playoff prospects. As always, links to coaches' channels will be in the description if you're itching for more Draft League content, and I'll see you next time for the final match of the regular season.